Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dion's Daily Dose for Tuesday, September 15th. I got a lot for you today. I was actually talking to my son. He attends school here in Michigan City. He goes to Michigan City High School. And one of the teachers on the very second day of class, asked the students, "How do you feel about Black Lives Matter?" And they all gave their various things. Now, luckily, that's as far as it went here at Michigan City High School, at least so far. But that's not what we're seeing across the nation. Across the country, we are seeing a lot more involvement, a lot more push for this. Let me show you what I mean. If you haven't seen this, there's a couple of things that I want to cover, but I want to start with this. Let me show you. Let me get this full screen here. Hey, Jack, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Let me show you what I mean here. This is from the New York Post, and the title of it is "Westchester School Under Fire for Cartoon Comparing Cops to KKK and Slave Owners." I'll give you the link for this article. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but let me show you the cartoon that was shared with the students there. Origins of American Society / Conflict / Power, cartoon number 1. And as you can see, it is directly equating police officers to slave owners and racists. Here's the issue is, unfortunately, we're seeing this more and more. It tends to come from far left areas and trickle its way down into more conservative areas like Indiana. If you look, here's all I did. I typed in BLM Agenda School. And if you notice, the first thing to come up is Black Lives Matter at school.com, NEAedjustice.org. Now, if we go to NEA Ed Justice, it talks about Black Lives Matter at school and how you as a teacher or educator can teach your students about it. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very fine line because there is a difference between education and indoctrination. There is a difference between telling students about current events and telling them what to think. Connie says indoctrination. Absolutely. And there's a lot of evidence out there, that these various schools across the nation, it's going so far beyond education because there's a difference. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure you know, there is a difference between the Black Lives Matter organization and the phrase Black Lives Matter, because Black lives do matter. Every life has value. You have to be a very, very disgusting human being to believe that any race does not have value. Let me show you. See if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so here is an article from. Well, first of all, let me share the link for the Post article if you care to read it. Jack says, I'm old enough to remember the 60s here when the parents were accusing certain teachers of being communist. And that's something else that we have to bear in mind. The McCarthyism and accusing people of something so that you can gain some sort of advantage over them. Let me show you what the Federalist says about this. The Federalist says, Black Lives Matter in public schools is turning kids into little Marxists. New York City, let me make sure that I have this shared to you. Yes, okay. New York City is one of many school systems in the United States set to roll out Black Lives Matter BLM-themed lesson plans this fall. According to the New York City Department of Education, teachers will delve into, quote, systemic racism, police brutality, and white privilege in their classrooms. Good article. There's something in particular that I want to point out here. The site lays out a cult-like recruiting process for students to follow. Step 1, recognize white privilege. Step 2, learn the do's and don'ts of being an ally. Step 3, recruit more members to learn steps 1 and 2. Step 3 of the recruitment process posits, quote, racial equity accountability must be tied to specific outcomes. What exactly are these outcomes? The obvious answer is activism on behalf of the BLM movement. Splashed across the homepage of the Wake County School System's website is BLM founder Patrisse Cullors. I don't know how you say her last name. Cullors. It is puzzling that a self-proclaimed trained Marxist such as Cullors would be a role model for the school system's anti-hatred, anti-oppression curriculum. Do these school administrators realize that Karl Marx's road to utopia led to millions of deaths at the hands of tyrants? I'm not going to get into too much with this. It's basically, I just want to tell you to be absolutely cognizant and aware of what your children are learning. Review their documents, listen in when you can, and most importantly, like I have, teach your children the difference between education and indoctrination. If they have a concern about anything, be willing and open to listen to them when they bring it to you. It's very easy, especially if you're a busy working parent. You may not have time to sit there and go over every single thing your child is learning. That's why it's really important for these students, these young children especially, to be taught the difference between education and indoctrination, and be willing to listen to them when they come to you. There's something else that I want to touch on real quick with you, and I want to show you exactly how things are spun. But first, Burlington teachers BLM curriculum leads to heated school board meeting. This was in Milwaukee, and as you can see, a lot of people showed up to talk about this, and it actually wasn't even listed on the agenda, but it did send sparks flying, drawing dozens of community members to speak and leading to many fiery moments. Let me show you. This is from Fox 6 Milwaukee, and I'll give you the link for this so you can go check it out. Parents across the country are aware. You are not alone in this. Let me be very, very clear. None of us are fighting this by ourselves. There are many parents that are absolutely awake to what's going on. They are seeing what's happening. Jack says actually the Marxism started with Goals 2000s in the schools, uniform teaching nationwide. The Goals 2000 Educate America Act, the centerpiece of the Clinton administration's education reform program. Figures, Democrats. Absolutely. And this is why it's really, really important to stay involved in your child's schooling to understand what they're being taught and how it's being taught. Let me get here. There's one more thing that I want to show you. I don't know if you've seen this, but if you haven't, it certainly begs quite a few questions. Biden bungles Dem ticket refers to Harris-Biden administration in campaign speech. The California senator similarly touted plans under a, quote, Harris administration. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden really appears to be on the same page as his running mate Kamala Harris, mistakenly referring to plans in a, quote, Harris-Biden administration, just one day after the California senator similarly suggested that she was on the top of the Democratic ticket. While speaking at a campaign event in Tampa, Florida on Tuesday, the former vice president attempted to make an appeal to veterans and offered a glimpse of what they should expect with him in the White House. However, his remarks sounded like he would only be second in command. Here's the link for the first one, but, quote, it makes it so much harder for military spouses to find good jobs and build their careers. That has to change, Biden said. A Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort and keep pushing further to make it easier for military spouses and veterans to find meaningful careers, to ensure teachers know how to support military children in their classrooms, and to improve support for caregivers and survivors so much more than we do now. Now, message? Good message. We should absolutely have more resources for our veterans and children of veterans. Absolutely. There's only one problem. I thought Joe Biden was the headliner. I thought he was the top of the ticket. Don't you normally refer to it like it's referred to as a Trump-Pence administration, right? Saying Pence-Trump administration would imply that Pence was president. Look, we all know, all of us, even some hardcore Democrats, know that Biden is not going to be in charge. Not even remotely. The man can barely string sentences together. We know what's up. A couple more things I want to show you. And this, it's a little bit to get through, but it doesn't take that long. Let me show you what I mean. For those of you who may or may not have seen this, the CDC recommends that you prepare your child for emergencies by having a backpack card, stuff like that. There's an ABC infographic. Now, before we get into this, let me give you a couple of caveats here, a couple of disclaimers, because it's important. I am in no way suggesting that anything is going to happen, but I'm going to show you that the potential is there, regardless of what Snopes and PolitiFact may tell you. I'm going to show you on the CDC website itself. So here we have cdc.gov, children in disasters, infographics, easy as ABC, right? Here's the card that they want you to be aware of. Ask how you would be reunited with your child in an emergency or evacuation. Bring extra medication, special food or supplies your child would need if you were separated overnight. Complete a backpack card and tuck one in your child's backpack and your wallet. Now, there was an infographic and a meme that was going around saying, hey, the schools are going to keep your kids, be careful, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, that's very concerning. Let me look into that and see what I can figure out. Now, I'm going to share with you what I was able to determine on that. First of all, let's visit our old friend, Snopes. Now, Snopes will tell you this is all crap. This has no, let's see, mostly false. Let me get back up to that right here, right? Did CDC tell parents to prepare for sudden sleepover at schools due to COVID? Mixture. What's true? The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention offered recommendations to parents and guardians in advance of the 2020 academic year, which included advice to prepare for a, quote, sudden sleepover in the event of an unexpected emergency or natural disaster. So yes, that part is true. What's false, according to them? Health officials did not specify that students would be kept overnight at schools in the event of an emergency, COVID-19 related or otherwise. Also, That's true. The CDC did not specifically say we're going to hold your kids over. Here's the infographic right here, but here's what it does say. Here it is. The one that they're actually talking about, the Ohio State House News article, went on to report that the CDC had listed COVID-19 as a biological threat that may require children to unexpectedly stay overnight at a school. Though it is true that the health agency included infectious diseases as a biological threat that may pose particular harm to children, this is according to Snopes, the CDC specified that for an infectious disease to be considered a biological threat, it must be intentionally released. Now, here's my contention with that, and this is actually really important. It does not say that on the CDC website. I'm going to show you what the CDC website says. And it does. In order for it to be classified as a bioweapon, it needs to be intentionally released, not for it to be classified as let me get this up for you, not to be classified as a biological threat, because if you go to cdc.gov/children in disaster /biological-threats.html, from the CDC, a biologic threat is an infectious disease with the potential to spread and cause an outbreak. Infectious diseases are illnesses caused by germs, such as bacteria and viruses. Some infectious diseases require close contact between two people, like when people speak to each other. Other infectious diseases can only spread by germs carried in air, water, food, or soil, or by biting insects, or by animals. Quote from the CDC website, biologic threats may spread naturally, as in a worldwide flu outbreak, or be released intentionally in a bioterrorism attack. Anthrax was intentionally released in 2001 to cause harm. Why is this important? Because for whatever reason, instead of actually presenting, look, here are the facts, no fear mongering, this is what you should know, this is what you should be aware of, they're going out of their way to tell you, no, that's not considered a biological threat. The CDC disagrees. The CDC says biological threat can be spread naturally. It does not have to be released intentionally. Why? Why does Snopes do anything the way they do it? It's really important, again, that parents be prepared and aware. Now, luckily, in LaPorte County, everything's virtual. I'm just telling you that that for whatever reason, there's this narrative out there that it's not even remotely possible for this to happen. The CDC has said in certain extreme cases, your child may be separated from you overnight. One of those cases is a biological threat. What qualifies as a biological threat? Diseases that are considered pandemics that spread. Now, we know we've got all the contact tracing, we've got all that stuff going on out there. I am not telling you that this is going to happen. I would never tell you what's happening in the future because I don't know. But what I will tell you is, for whatever reason, the narrative's being pushed that that's not even a remote possibility. Do your own research. Look at the CDC yourself. Let me give you the link to this so you can read it for yourself, and you can make your own determination as to what is or is not possible at your child's school. I am very leery with today's environment and the fear that is being pushed for a vastly survivable virus. I'm very concerned with the steps that certain schools may take, that certain groups may take when it comes to, say, pushing a vaccine or something like that. do your research, ladies and gentlemen, just like always. I always tell people this: do your own research, look into these things for yourselves, and make your own determination. Don't listen to these politicians. I don't care which side of the aisle they're on. Unless you can confirm it for yourself, everybody has a reason to give you a spin. Everybody has a reason to give you their version of what they think. Look into it for yourself. Do the research for yourself. There's plenty of information out there. It is what it is. Now, kind of to wrap up, real quick, we are a go for Chesterton American Legion. We were able to secure the venue. I'm really excited about that because it's going to be awesome. We're going to have games. We're going to have stuff for the kids. We're going to have some silent auctions. It's going to be awesome. I truly believe it's going to be something fun. And of course, we're going to live stream it just like I do all this stuff. So you'll be able to participate. If you're not able to make it in, you'll have a chance to meet candidates, learn about their platforms, learn about where they stand, and even potentially maybe home. We'll see. We got to get all this lined up. If you know anyone that's good at making videos, love to make a quick commercial about it so that we can do that. If not, Jack, I got to talk to you a little later. Hopefully you can help me make a cool graphic for this. If not, I want to get everything lined up as good as possible on this. Austin is going to go tomorrow to check the Wi-Fi on it, or if they don't have solid Wi-Fi, how's the phone signal? We're still getting Westville set up, but Chesterton's a go, and there are some big things coming for it and the other ones. Connie was nice enough. Let me see if I can share. I don't have it on here. I'm gonna be making a post about it. Connie was nice enough to donate a couple of her pictures for the auction, her paintings, which were featured. Let's see here. Previously, and we will have those. Like I said, I'm gonna make a post about it, but she was actually featured in the Tinley Park Public Library. There was a springtime collection, and she was featured in it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I think I can share this. Here we go. Look at that. Cool, right? So if you look to her left, let's see here. I don't see the other one on there, but this one is the one just to her left there. Like I said, I'm going to make a post about it. I'll take some nice pictures of it so you can see. She was nice enough to donate those, and we're going to have more cool stuff. If anybody wants to donate something for the auction or anything else, let me know. We've got, let's see, not a whole lot of time, but 2 weeks basically between now and the first debate. We're trying to make it awesome. So thank you to everyone who took the time to watch this. And I'm going to tell you, and I do want to send a personal thank you out there to the people who have believed in me enough to donate their hard-earned money to myself and my campaign. Thank you. Thank you. I really greatly appreciate it. Remember, we use WinRed. If you're okay with using them, they're secure. You can go to my website, click on the contribute button. If you would rather mail a check or money order, you can do so to the address on the screen. If you want to email me at talk@dionbergeron.com. And just visit the website, whatever. That's where we're at. I'm really, really excited about these watch parties. I think they're going to be a lot of fun. So, God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the U.S. of A.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.